What is your approach to improving public safety across the metro while also strengthening trust between residents and LMPD?
That's a great question, and I believe leadership means showing up. We have a lot of studies and plans that just sit on the shelf. We say that we're listening to community. We make things look good on paper, but that's not what we practice. And so whether people agree with me or not, I know that they deserve to access me, to access their elected official, to access the people who are supposed to be bringing us the safety that we should feel. The trusted, trained police force we've been promised has not been guaranteed for all Louisvillians. And my approach is making sure that we're making things accessible, not just having short-term surveys that many people can't access because we have a digital divide, and making sure our forms are real with action steps, departments, people assigned to take those action steps.
Ms. Burnell.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. What is your approach to improving public safety across the metro while also strengthening trust between residents and LMPD?
Okay. I think that goes back to what I said, that, you know, we've been operating below full strength for a very long time, and I think it's important that we need to take measures to fix that. Just recently, there was an article that came out that was, you know, kind of lambasting our officers for all the overtime that they're working. But when we're short officers, you know, that's really something we should be grateful for, that we have officers willing to show up. I have in my hand a memo from April 2nd where they're talking about more overtime this summer and targeting known areas of disorder and crime. So we'll see even more overtime. So I really think that the key is getting us up to full strength and getting more officers on the street, which frees up some of them to do more community policing and having conversations and getting to know people. Mr.
Datillo.
As she mentioned, we are horribly short on officers. I would say over 200 in my last conversation with some of the members of LMPD. I would like to try and add some incentives to the bucket, maybe 0% home loans for officers that want to buy a home in the district they police, to get them more invested in the community. I would also like to see them training the community with repurposed, confiscated firearms that we've gotten from crimes that would otherwise be legal, and be able to be put in the hands of people that need them, the lower income coming first, of course. Other than that, I've got a whole platitude of ideas. You want to go to my website at datillo2026.com to check it out. I think you'll like what you see there.
Mr. Hurt?
Thank you. Our approach to public safety needs to be two-pronged. First, we need to combine fire, LMPD, and health into one unified public safety organization. But second, we need to expand the concept of what public safety is. Louisville has the verb magbarred, and that is insane. The fact that 4 restaurants were hit in less than 2 months this year and went by without a buzz is a problem. We need to be designing spaces that are safe to create public safety.
Mr. Bailey.
LMPD needs change. And I'm not referring to defunding them. That's not my plan. I want to improve the trust in our city's first responders by changing the internal regulations and culture of responsibility or accountability. We've seen time after time LMPD officers getting slaps on the wrist for their actions. And I'm done sitting down waiting for others to stand up. Miles Cosgrove, the officer who shot the fatal shot at Breonna Taylor in 2020, was fired, but never criminally charged, and now works as a deputy in Carroll County. That to me is not accountability. That's acceptance. Joshua Janes, the officer who falsified the no-knock search warrant and later tried covering it up, got all the charges dropped against him without prejudice.
Mr. Bailey, your time is up. Mr. Greenberg.
Ensuring that everyone is safe and feels safe is why we came out with our comprehensive strategy, Safe Louisville, that focuses on 3 things: prevention, intervention, and enforcement. We're working to prevent crime from happening in the first place, working with, in my proposed budget, organizations like Boys and Girls Club and Community Connections and others. We also need to stop the amount of illegal guns on the street. It's one of the reasons why I've been endorsed by a national organization, Every Town for Gun Safety. And we're working to get local autonomy to our city so that we can do more to crack down on illegal gun use. We also need to strengthen our collaboration with prosecutors and judges who play a very important role in the entire criminal justice system as well. All of this is working together, which is why we're making progress, but there is still so much more to do.
Mr. DeVore.
Yes, ma'am. This is where Greenberg and I disagree when it comes to the safety and welfare of our folks. We need to have police officers on the beat. Get them paid well. Right now, they're lucky to be in there in 5 years, and they're going somewhere else. We need to make sure they got a retirement they can be proud of, and we need to have that for them. EMS and same as the fire department need to be paid well. Give them benefits, because if we're going to really focus on the foundation of safety, we need to have our folks paid well and done correctly. Now, the point of the matter is this. I disagree with him. I think our crime is still high, and the numbers are being skewed when it comes to violations and misdemeanors. So, to me, that's where we have a disagreement. But the point of the matter is that it's time to do what's best for Louisville.